So hello, welcome to a sketch of this beautiful castle in Romania. This is a bit of a sort of clever tricks type video. I'm going to show you a couple of little ideas which you can use to start capturing scenes really quickly. So number one, what are we doing? We're jumping in and we're going straight in with a continuous line drawing, which if you follow my channel, you'll know is one of my absolute favourite things to do. The other thing though about this continuous line drawing, you might get the impression that it's not quite black, the ink, not quite deep black, and it'll become obvious later. But for now, you just have to trust me, perhaps, that it's not a black ink that I'm using. And I'm not even using a fountain pen. I'm using this kind of rollerball pen. It's a really lovely pen, actually, which, together with that not quite black ink, provides a sort of softer, more gentle feel to the line. And that's one of the keys, I think, to sketching really quickly, is giving yourself as much flexibility as possible. So by flexibility, I mean, if this was a really bold black line, it's really going to be obvious no matter what we do to it. And every correction we make will be even more obvious. But because it's not a bold black line, these lines actually will be flexible later. We can adjust them, amend them by using something bolder and darker on top. So we might be sort of gently heading towards the big secret, the secret technique for today, which is when you finish your light sketch, come back in with something bolder. So here I've got a fountain pen with what's called a musical nib, and you can see from the side here, it's a very bold nib, and look at that juicy black ink it puts down. And now you can really tell that first ink I was using is actually called aubergine, which is a kind of dark red, reddy purple. I think that's where the aubergine or eggplant kind of colour comes from. And then with this big, bold nib, we start to just put in key areas of contrast, of shadow. So just squinting at the reference, where's the darkest darks, and you mark those in. And little sort of suggestions of details. What are the key details? Perhaps it's these big windows. Perhaps it's the sort of stairs running in through this alcove or this opening. And these black marks, these bold marks, are not flexible. They are really obvious, but they allow us to manipulate and change those flexible light lines. So by approaching it with a gentle line first, really bold line second, we end up moving gradually forward in our sketch, but without having to use a pencil, which means you get rigid, you rub everything out, you become over-reliant on rubbing out and getting it all correct. No, this time you still have those mistakes, but you just move quickly past them. Now we are on to the colour. And a little shout out to Colin at Woodward's Watercolours, who's on YouTube. His son actually 3D printed me this little palette. So I thought I'd give it a go. So that's why we've got a little mixing palette in today's video. Now, with my mixing palette, I've got a limited array of colours to use, and I think that's really important because we want to keep this really simple in terms of the colours. That, again, is how we make things quick and vivid and interesting. Now, in a quick sketch, the biggest problem you have with watercolours is it takes time to build up contrast. But we have the contrast. Those bold black marks are going to be contrasting no matter what we do. So we can be fun with the colours. We can use blues in the ground because why not? Because they're vivid and interesting. We can use purpley browns to sort of hopefully try and meld in with some of those lighter lines and make them feel even lighter by having a similar colour alongside them. But you see how everything's sort of flowing together. Now, that might be a problem if our watercolour was providing our image the structure, but it's not. The structure is coming from the ink. So one of the biggest tips for sketching quickly is to provide yourself some structure to work with early. Those 2 layers of ink provide all the structure we need, and it means our colours can be very silly, they can be very quick, they can be very expressive. The colours are just trying to make the ink sing, they are not holding the whole image together. And that means it's much quicker because the colours ultimately, and waiting for the colours to dry, that's the bit that takes time. Now, it's important not to rush at the same time. So although I'm trying to be quick, you can see I'm not really doing loads with my brush. I'm moving it around, but I'm taking time to adjust it, to move it into place, to move it out of place, and to just make sure that what I'm doing, or what the watercolour is doing to itself, which is most often the way, isn't it, is actually moving us towards our goal rather than everything blending and becoming murky. Because the last thing we want is for this whole light, interesting, quick sketch to become something a bit bogged down in murkiness. Now, that said, although we have lots of contrast on the page, I do actually want some slightly murkier, I suppose, for want of a different term, but murkier, bolder, or more naturally high value, more naturally shadowy colours on the page. So I've mixed up this neutral, and I'm just going to use that in a few places to enhance the shadow. And this is a bit of a decision because you can see the photo itself doesn't have a huge amount of shadow in some areas, but I'm just going to choose to make that clock tower have a bold shadow on it. It just sort of fits. I think it fits my image, and that's ultimately what we're mostly trying to do. Now you can see that bold shadow is leaking out in the sky. A lot of people would rush and get worried and go, oh no, it's being ruined. But you just got to let it do its thing and see what happens. As long as your page is wet, you'll be able to come in and alter it. And that's what we'll do in a moment. But don't panic. If you're sketching quickly, things will happen. Sometimes they'll be amazing and sometimes they won't. And if you always panic and try and clear up that little bloom which is appearing somewhere, you'll never get the moment of magic. You'll always just get slightly boring, slightly overworked colours. Now, that said, I have given it a fair while, haven't I? I've given it a while. It's sort of stopped moving. So it's time to start thinking about whether we like it or not. And one of the reasons we might not like it is because it does take away from the structure. There's a very light line only on that side. So it kind of does make the outline of the tower a little less clear. Even working in a bit of structure elsewhere with some bolder watercolours, well, we're still missing a little bit of structure in that key area. So, time then, I guess, to come and attempt to fix it. So what do we do? Well, I'm going to start by applying some richer colour outside it. That will push those bold colours back in. That didn't work, so I'll come in with a wet brush, slightly dried on a tissue but still damp, and we can just lift it. And there we go. And now that little bold colour I popped in, I'll make more interesting with some splashes, and that's time to call it a day. So I left that mistake till the very end to make sure I knew what I was doing. I'd given it time to do its thing. If you enjoyed this, let me know, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you in the next video.